¿Qué tal, atrincherados? Bienvenidos al cuarto programa de Entre Trincheras. Para este programa nos acompaña Tom. No olviden seguirnos en nuestras redes sociales y suscribirse a nuestro canal en YouTube. También estamos en Facebook. Yo soy Estefania de Minor. Comenzamos.
Hello, I'm Tom. I'm 41 years old. I come from Belgium and I'm currently spending my holidays in México since 3 weeks here. In Belgium, I live in a small city. Well, it's one of the more important cities of Belgium, but it's rather small if you compare it to Mexican cities. It has 90,000 citizens and it's about 20 kilometers north of Brussels.
How is your experience living the pandemic in Belgium and in Mexico going?
Well, I just arrived here in Mexico, so I cannot say much about that. As far as Belgium goes, you see this is a new situation for everyone. So it has been hard, it has been uncertain what will happen. You see that things are changing, IDs are changing, the rules are changing. Sometimes it's difficult to follow what the actual rules are, but still I have good confidence in the system in Belgium. So I think it's okay there. As far as Mexico goes, of course I have limited view on how it is here, but what I can tell is that if you compare, the number of restrictions here are less than in Belgium, I believe. On the other hand, I see in terms of using the face masks and disinfecting your hands and so on, I feel that people are following that better here. I've seen on the streets that people are wearing the masks, and also in the public transport, it's followed much better than in Belgium. I've seen these last days because I got tested positive myself. I'm a bit concerned seeing that it's very difficult, for instance, to get a test or to get to see a doctor. So I'm a bit concerned about how the system is in Mexico, and if I would get really sick, how well I could get taken care of.
Talking about all the countries you have been to, which country shows that it is best prepared to face a pandemic with the participation of its people?
Well, of course, as I said before, the pandemic is something very unusual, so it's very difficult to just know which country is best prepared. I would say that you see that, for instance, in the Asian countries, the rules are much stricter, are much more severe in terms of lockdowns, and people are following those rules much better. That's also because of the culture. I think if you see that in Europe, we are more doing our own stuff, going against the rules, and that's not always helping. On the other hand, if you see, if I compare Asia to Europe, I think in Europe the governments are more flexible, and the health system is more robust than for instance in Asian countries. If you ask me which country is best prepared, I think then it should be Germany.
Mm-hmm.
They have a very well worked out health system, and also if you compare like Germany to Belgium or France or to the Netherlands, people there are much more eager to follow the rules. What can I say? Comparing Belgium to Mexico, there, yeah, it's for me it's difficult to judge because I don't know well how things are arranged in the countries here or in Mexico itself.
Have you ever felt deceived by what a country shows or promises, and in reality it's totally different?
I find that a difficult question. I would say, but then you should know that I traveled a lot to Asia and to Japan, so that's the easiest. There I have the best view on how the country works. And I would say, in the sense that, well, if you see Japan is super structured, super organized, there are all these rules and everything goes very smooth, but that's as long as everything runs the way they expect it to run. And you see there was a disaster of Fukushima a few years ago, and then you see how that affected Japan and how difficult they had it to react to that disaster. And there you would expect that the system is more solid there and that the system is more worked out, but as soon as something goes wrong, they have difficulties to show the flexibility to adapt and to adjust. In general, yeah, a country that shows or promises and the reality is totally different. No, I also, coming here to Mexico, I didn't really have much expectations. I think it pretty much is as I expected. It's much different from what I'm used to in Belgium, but it's not that it's I feel deceived by the promises. No, not really.
What do you miss most about your country? Honestly.
Well, I'm just here for a few weeks, so it's not that I really miss something yet from my country. But I would say if I stay longer here, certainly. I think the Mexican food is really nice, but it's quite heavy for me, spicy and heavy with a lot of meat, a lot of cheese, and a lot of spices. So it's difficult for me to process this food. Although I like it, but it's difficult, and I guess that if I stay longer, I will miss the Belgian food. Currently, I'm staying in Mexico City, and as I said, I come also from a city, but it's just a city of 90,000 people. I see that here the busyness of the life, it doesn't really help me to relax. It's quite noisy for me all the time, and that's I think I would miss the quietness, the peaceful environment that I have at home.
What are you taking from Mexico?
What am I taking from Mexico? Well, I very much appreciate the hospitality here. I met friends and family members, and you see that they're always very open to integrate and to accept you, to participate in whatever they are doing. And that's really nice. I was because we went to the mountains for a trip with the family for a few days around New Year, and I see that if I compare the weekends with my family and weekends here, is quite different. When we take a weekend in Belgium, we are super organized with a schematic, and at a certain point in time we will do the breakfast all together and wake up, and then there is this kind of things that you need to do. And here it's really more relaxed. You do what you want to do, you wake up when you want to wake up, you eat when you want to eat, and that's also is quite different, and it's nice that you can be and do whatever you want and then just be together in a more relaxed atmosphere.
Well, Tom, thanks for this interview, and well, enjoy Mexico.
Yeah, voilà, I know. Okay, thank you.
Yo soy Estefania T. Minor. Nos vemos la próxima semana con más trincheras. Y recuerden, atrincherados, que cada trinchera cuenta.